Hello, I am the Young DJ, and I'm back again. This is Confessing Lies or Telling Stories. This is where I tell all the things I need to tell and say all the things I need to say in a safe, discreet, and most of all, legal way. Always got to stay safe. So, we tell two different kinds of stories here. On one end, it's the main storyline, which is, my life and how I messed it up. I do have a mental condition, and I try to let people know how choices can really, really affect things if you're not careful and you don't learn how to self manage. I also tell side stories. These stories can be a little dark, a little entertaining. It just depends on, I guess, your sense of humor. So, in the main storyline, I've been a soldier, homeless. I became a dancer. I got a good side hustle going on, and things are going better. I'm no longer homeless. So that's a good thing. But I am still causing a lot of problems. I'm still keeping myself in a good amount of danger at all times. I'm 19, about to turn 20, and I'm still just as immature as I was when I was 13. The only difference is now I have a little size, I have a little bit of money, I have a little bit of respect, and I got a really, really, really big head. Okay? Today's story is going to be about dancing. I don't think people realize just how dangerous it can be as a dancer, whether you're male or female. The social dynamic between men and women makes it to where men have to be very, very careful about their level of aggression, keeping their hands to themselves, where their eyes are at all times. If not, it's very frowned upon. You can come off as a creep. Women, on the other hand, for the most part, tend to think that with enough size and enough strength, that they can hurt men physically, and they have no problem being aggressive, especially if they're having a good time. They laugh real hard. They have no problem just hitting you. Ha ha ha! You so that kind of thing. Men can't go ha 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 and slap the girl and say you so stupid. Okay, that's not good. The same thing is in the strip clubs. Okay, and as men, we're a good size, muscles, things of that nature, plus the social dynamic of this economy. We don't get the same level of protection that the women get when they dance. You put your hands on one of these females in the club, and security is all over you, and you wake up outside somewhere a little bit damaged. You have to keep your hands to yourself, or you could get in trouble with security. Well, we're men, and we're pretty good size, and they expect us to know how to handle ourselves. So if women get a little tipsy, a little aggressive, they expect us to just know how to handle it. They don't help us the way they help the women. So, and it can get dangerous. Quick side story: I saw an incident where one of the guys was dancing on the stage, and he was dangling a little too close to the edge of the stage within arm's reach of very inebriated customers. And these women were a significant size. Okay. Well, he's dangling and he's dancing and he's doing his thing and he's not paying attention. Somebody gets a hold of him. And with the bottoms that we wear, it's like a little holster style. What she didn't realize is that she didn't just have the stick, she had the stick and the berries, and she had a death grip on it. And she's not just holding on, she's trying to use the stick and berries to drag him to her to pull him basically off the stage. Um, he's trying to remain professional, but you can tell he's in extreme pain. I don't think, unless you have stickenberries that you will ever understand the kind of pain it creates when somebody crushes them. Um, she had a death grip and she's yanking, she's pulling, trying to get him. He's trying to remain professional and trying not to get pulled off the stage. And he passes out. Eventually, he just couldn't take it. She's really trying to get him, and he just falls out right down the stage. Security never came over. Security never tried to help, not until he hit the ground. Even then, she didn't think to let go. She was still trying to pull him towards her. And it was all in good fun. I mean, these girls, they're having fun. They're in full party mode, okay? But this environment is fueled by alcohol, sometimes illicit drugs, money, and deep, dark sexual energy, not to mention dopamine, adrenaline. Like it's a wild environment and anything can happen because the emotions in this environment can literally brew anything. Okay? So you have to be careful. Today's story is going to be about the first time somebody tried to catch me slipping. Unfortunately, in this environment, whether you're male or female, the customers are not always decent people. Some of them will try to put things in your drinks. They'll try to catch you in compromising situations. And you really have to be careful. And you cannot let the money blind you to what you see. You cannot turn a blind eye to this because it could be the difference between this being a night on earth and this being your last night on earth. Okay? So for me, I don't feel bad, to be honest with you, because number one, I was young. I'm 19. Okay. I'm new to this industry. I've only been dancing about a year. I'm good at it. And believe it or not, within a year, you're no longer a noob. You're pretty much a veteran if you've really been in that lifestyle. It doesn't take long for you to get acclimated to this life. So every now and then, to raise money and to get customer base and everything, we would have a male auction. And they would auction us off for dates. Not anything nasty, just regular old dates. And the proceeds, some of it would go to a charity or some kind of local business or something, just so we didn't have a bad name in the community because people tend to not like these kind of clubs in their communities. So we try to help the police. We try to sit there and help businesses around us. And we try to make a good name for ourselves as a gentleman's club or a male review club. Okay. So we would have these auctions. It's just like you see. They bring the man up on stage. The women they bid on, and whoever bids the highest, that's your date for the night. Okay. The club would go ahead and already set up the dates. It would be restaurants and things like that, and they would pay for it. It would be all included in your auction price. And it's our job to take you out, wine and dine you, show you a good time. Again, everything on the up and up. Of course, not everybody followed the rules, but everything was just supposed to be up and on the up and up and just be dinner. Okay? Oh, my bad. Anyway, so this is my first auction. They only do it once a year. This is my first auction. By this time, I got a little name for myself. I'm third in rotation. Okay? So I get up there. I have customers already. I have, a pretty good experience. And they bid and they bid and they bid. I go for a pretty decent amount. So everything's cool. And the person who bid on me wasn't bad looking. So I feel like I'm winning. So we're out. I pick her up. Again, it's a big event. So it's limousines and things like that. The club really goes all out for this kind of thing to try to draw in the crowd. So it's limousines and everything. We pull up. We're all dressed up in ties and tuxes or whatever it is. And we pick up our dates and we all head out to our dates. My date was at least 15 years older than me, if not more. She was in the medical field. I believe, she was not quite a doctor, but she was up there somewhere doing her thing. Had plenty of money. So we get to the restaurant. With me being young, there is no intimidation factor between me and her. She's not intimidated by me at all. She's talking to me very dirty, very provocative, and just basically knocking drinks back. And she drank like a professional. So we talking straight scotches and things like that. Um, we had dinner, and this is when, I guess you're supposed to drink after dinner. And so she ordered some drinks for us, some kind of creamy, whatever, sugary looking drinks or whatever. And in the club, there are certain things that you can buy over the counter that are designed to do other things. Unfortunately, these products, and I'm not going to name them because I'm not trying to endorse any of that, but the people in these kind of environments, dancers, we know these products. And there's one in particular that can be very harmless if you use it for what it's for. But if you put just a few drops of it, and it's clear, into somebody's drinks, it will make them appear to be very, very, very inebriated, to where they have drank far too much, almost like a blackout drunk kind of thing, even when they haven't drank that much. And it didn't take much. And because it was clear and tasteless, you had to be careful. Again, it's an everyday product. So you could bring it in the club. Nobody was really looking for it. And it's a very easy product to hide because it comes in a very small container. Okay. So as a dancer, we're trained to look for this. And we're also trained to always act far more inebriated than we really are. Because when people think that your guard is down, they spend more money with you. So we're good at this. I'm very good at it. Not to mention, I'm really tipsy for real anyway. I know I'm only 19, but I'm in a grown man environment. I'm doing grown man things. And it's very easy to get people to get it for me. So I'm tipsy for real, but I'm acting even more tipsy than I really am to get money and get her guard down to try to get more of a tip. Well, the drinks come, and I have to go to the bathroom because of the drinking. On my way to the bathroom, just because we're always trained to do this, okay? We're always trained to do this. Before I go to the bathroom, I'm going to finish whatever drink I have with me. Even if I don't want it, I'm not going to leave a drink at the table. And I'm not going to take it in the bathroom. Men's bathrooms are nasty no matter where you go, but especially in that environment. So it's just habit for me. I don't care if it's a brand new drink. If I have to leave the table for any reason, I'm going to knock my drink back because I've been sitting there since it got there and I'm never going to leave it alone. So I have to use the bathroom. First thing I do is pick up my drink, knock it back, chase it with my water. I go to the bathroom. When I go to the bathroom, because of my side hustle, because of my upbringing, because of my nature, I'm always watching people. I never ever just leave a room. I'll make you think I did, but I don't. I never ever just turn my back. I never ever just go to sleep. I'm always going to watch. I'm always going to be the last person to close my eyes in the room. I'm always going to double back. That's just who I am. So I head to the bathroom. There's a direct line where I can see the table from the bathroom and she can see me. So I go to the bathroom, go around the corner, wait for about 10, 15 seconds, peek back around. And I just watch for a little while just to see what she does. And it's not that I left anything at the table. I just want to see what she does. Whether she just, pulls anything out of her purse. What does she do when she thinks nobody's looking? Well, what she does is she reaches in her purse and she pulls out something, but I couldn't see what it was. She makes a very conscious effort to get the waiter's attention. And I can tell she's ordering two drinks. I see the two and everything, and she's ordering. And I'm still standing there and I'm watching her. And I can tell just by her mannerisms that she really wants those drinks there before I come back. And I see the waiter rush off. So now I'm curious. I go ahead and go to the bathroom. Come on back out. And when I get there, there's two drinks, brand new drinks. So, of course, I'm already looking skeptical, wondering what this is all about. And I saw her pull something out of her purse. Okay. So, I've mentioned in a bunch of videos before this, and I'm going to say it again. I am one of those young people who watched way too much TV, and I tried all of it. I didn't believe it in a such that I thought it was real, but I thought these kind of things could work. The things I saw on TV, I thought would work in real life. Well, it just so happens that I needed to now know what kind of situation I was in. So even though it might not sound brilliant at 19, it sounded like a genius plan to pull some things off of TV and get back and hit her with a, you got something in your nose. What's that? Just start staring and what? Like, I think you got something in your nose. Oh my God, it is so easy to embarrass people on a date and make them run away from the table. That's what I did. I manipulated the situation and got her to be self conscious enough to run to the bathroom. Um, of course, women in general take their purse, they don't leave it there. And she didn't leave hers either. But I didn't care. I just wanted to do the switcheroo. It was the same exact drinks. So switcheroo. That's all I wanted to do, just to make sure. So she went to the bathroom. I switched the drinks. I made sure with my crazy little brain that everything was perfect, strategic. Okay, I made sure nobody even saw me do it unless they had cameras. But switcheroo, and I sit there, and she comes back, and when she gets back, she decides to make her move. This is the time where we had such a good time tonight. I don't want the night to end. You're so much bigger than me. I hope you don't feel threatened. I hope you feel comfortable enough to come back to my place. I want to be a regular customer for you. Can I get a private dance? I'll pay you this much money, and it's just going to be dancing. I'm like, okay, cool. I always keep my dance gear with me. Extra money and the price is right. Let's do it. So we down the drinks. Um, Her mannerisms, I can tell she really wanted to make sure I took that drink. And when she got back, to the night, and everything about it was just trying to get us to get to this toast so we could take that drink, which furthered my suspicion. We took the drink, we leave. She doesn't leave. She doesn't live too far away. We get to her house. She shows me where the bathroom is at. I go ahead and get everything ready, get myself ready. I keep my music and everything on me. I'm also a DJ, so I'm a one-stop party, a mobile party, anywhere I go. So I come out and I'm starting my routine. I can tell by her eyes that something's wrong. Something's up. She's not feeling too good, and she's really not there. It started to happen on the way back. Okay. Luckily, nobody's driving. We got the limo. So we get back. I'm dancing. I see her slowly slipping away. And as she's slipping, I'm just talking to her, still playing dumb. And I'm smart enough to pretend like I'm slipping too. Because whatever it is, I'm pretty sure she knows what it's supposed to look like. So I'm just mimicking her. In her mind, I can tell she's fighting it because she's thinking she just had too much to drink. She still hasn't caught on to what's happened. Halfway through the dance, she throws up and she ends up passing out. I had to confirm what I thought. So when she passed out, I went through her purse. I had to see what was in there. And exactly what I thought she used, that's what was in there. There's no other reason she would have it. It's a very unique product that you only use for one specific reason. And I don't see why she would need it. So I knew what it was for. So she called herself slipping. At 19 years old, hot-headed, stupid, ignorant, I couldn't just take the win. I already had my money. I already had everything I needed. I could have just left. But I was pissed because you tried to get me. And what was your plan? What were you going to try to do to me? Because she was out, completely gone. So I said, okay. Well, of course, I had to empty the purse. I had to take all the cash. And I went around and I cherry picked that credit. I took everything that I thought was of value and left a note that said, I won't tell if you won't tell. And that's how my first night ended at my auction. I don't know what the moral of that story is or what the lesson is. It was just a cool story I wanted to tell because I did the TV thing, the switcheroo, and it worked. I couldn't believe it worked. And that's pretty much it for today. No rhyme, no reason, no words to live by, no lessons learned. Be careful what you do to people because even though you might not think they're paying attention to you, they just might be. And the only person you might get caught slipping is you. So be careful, all right? Don't do dirty things. Don't try to be conniving. You never know how karma's going to work. She kept coming back as a customer, never spoke to me again. But it took about 4 or 5 months before she came back to the club. And every time she passed by me, she put her head down. We never spoke on it. She never said a word. I never said a word. But that felt good. It felt good to do some TV crap and have it work just like it did on TV. Anyway, appreciate you tuning in. Until the next time, I'll holler at you. I am the UnDJ. I'm out.